Hi, BlogaFam! Happy New Year! Grabe! Na-miss ko kayo. Sobrang na-miss ko kayo. I swear, ngayon na lang tayo ulit nagkita-kita. And bago natin puntahan lahat ng dapat nating puntahan, puntahan talaga, pag-usapan lahat ng kailangan natin pag-usapan tonight. I just wanna wish you all a happy New Year dahil ngayon lang ako nagkaroon ng chance na batiin kayo live. And ayan, this is our first Blog Alive episode for 2021. Na-miss ko kayong kausap. So hello sa lahat ng nasa comment section natin dyan. Kamusta po kayo? If you wanna share your New Year's resolution with me, let me know sa comment section para naman enjoy na enjoy ang ating pag-uusapan ngayong araw because I also wanna share my New Year's resolution bago natin pag-usapan ang mga topics natin for tonight at bago tayo samahan ng ating special guest for tonight. So I just wanna share ang aking New Year's resolution this 2021, 'di ba? Long mga last part ng 2020. If you guys are following me, alam niyo kung ano-ano yung mga sinalihan natin, 'di ba? Talagang doon na buo ang maniwala tayo sa law of attraction, mata sa langit, paa sa lupa. And of course, we wish to continue that for this year. At ang isa sa mga New Year's resolution ko talaga this year ay wag ka nang mahihiya. Yun talaga, wag ka nang mahihiya at lahat ng kaya mong i-grab na opportunity ay i-grab mo. Yun talaga ang aking 2021 resolution. And speaking of that resolution nga, kanina sa backstage parang medyo ginagawa kayong mga ganun. Pero syempre, para mas magkaroon kayo ng idea and malaman nyo kung ano ba itong mga sinasabi ko dito, tawagin na natin ang ating special guest for today. Para alam nyo na kung ano ba yung sinasabi ko dito, kung paano ko nabuo yung mga resolution ko na yan kanina sa backstage. Let's call on our special guest for tonight na sasamahan tayong pag-usapan kung ano nga ba ang future ng ating content creators, especially for this year. Let's call on Sir Jojo Ampeloquio of Talentmarketers.
Hello. Good evening po. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Sir Jojo.
Yes, I'd like to thank syempre, Blogapalooza and Blog Alive for inviting me, to share my insights. Maraming salamat. Nakakapagtaka, ngayon nila ako inimbitan. Sana noon pa. Joke lang.
Ay! Ibig sabihin yan, Sir Jojo, marami pa tong susunod. I-claim natin yan. Sure akong paunlakan mo ang aming imbitasyon, di ba? Paunlakan mo kami forever. Pero syempre, Sir Jojo, bago ka na... Ano po yun?
Ang lakas ni A sa akin. Anytime.
Malakas. Oo. Sir Jojo, sana po kami din lumakas sa inyo. Wow! May mag ganon. May nabudol si Sir Jojo sa live. Gusto niyo yan, BlogaFam? BlogaFam, if you have any questions for Sir Jojo, let us know sa comment section para mamaya ma-flash din natin yan kalagitnaan ng ating discussion. Pero syempre, Sir Jojo, bago namin kayo interviewin at bigyan ng mga questions, tatanungin ko po kayo, kamusta naman po kayo ngayong 2021?
That's a very good question. 2021 is syempre, unfortunately for a lot, no? Kasi syempre, we're still in the pandemic and we don't know yet what's gonna happen in the future, no? Most especially for businesses like ours, our industry, hindi natin alam kung anong patutunguhan. Pero alam mo, so far, 2020 and even itong 2021, nung sumampa ang 2021, 22 days pa lang naman of 2021. Looks like maganda naman ang kahanduan ng ating industriya, no? Even yung 2020, we were still blessed we still had our own blessings, no? If we really just look at our glasses half full instead of half empty, blessed pa rin. Blessed pa rin.
Yes. Yes, totoo yan. Totoo. I agree sa lahat ng sinabi mo, Sir Jojo. Pero ito, ang tanong ko din naman sa'yo, Sir Jojo, meron ka bang share na New Year's resolution sa ating BlogaFam? Kung meron lang naman.
Okay. New Year's resolution. Alam mo, na-realize ko the content creation industry and the influencer marketing industry. Before kasi tayo medyo watak-watak, no? Each agency has their own goals and syempre iba-iba rin naman ang pamamalakad at patutunguhan. But I guess one thing that we need to do talaga is to make our industry more united. Like ang daming pwedeng trabahuhin together, no?
Yeah.
Like for example, influencer education, teaching influencers more on like how to do things more professionally and also the ethics behind it, yung mga ganyan, how to deal with brands, ang dami nating pwedeng trabahuhin. So I guess in 2021, what I'm trying to say is I'm gonna put a lot of effort and maybe resources into working together with partner agencies, no, to really move influencer education forward. So yan ang aking New Year's resolution.
Yes, ang ganda ng New Year's resolution na to. At eto po, may mga nag-hello sa inyo, Sir Jojo. Guwapings as always, sabi. Oh, 'di ba? Guwapings
Ikaw
as
lang bang
always.
nanonood? Sana naman marami pang ibang nanonood. Si Ace lang yata nanonood, tsaka yung mga staff. Si Luna.
Marami yan, Sir Jojo.
Yung mga tao ko lahat mga ito. Hi Ace, thank you for inviting me. Yep.
Yes, ang ganda ng New Year's resolution ni Sir Jojo, 'di ba? Talagang working and collaborating with partner agencies, 'di ba? Alagaan natin yung mga ganyang relationship. So kayo BlogaFam, again, if you have anything you wanna share with me and Sir Jojo sa mga New Year's resolution nyo, ikwento nyo yan sa amin. And of course, if you have any questions, lalo sa mga gustong mag-content creation dyan, wag na kayong mahiya. Mamaya itatanong natin yan kay Sir Jojo. Pero ngayon, pag-usapan natin, Sir Jojo, can we recap how 2020 was like for our content creators, lalo na sa social media landscape, sa ating trends, and sa kung ano-ano pang naging adaptation ng ating content creators bago natapos ang 2020? Pag-usapan natin yan.
Sure. Well, alam naman nating lahat na 2020 was really but it is the pandemic year, no? The pandemic started late February. And then up until now, no? Actually, akala natin, hino-hope natin before na, okay, end of Feb, mga March, siguro mga bandang June, tapos na ito.
Yes.
But lo and behold, no? January 2021 na, andito pa rin si COVID. And we're all still trying to adapt to it, no? So, in terms of social media landscape, mapapansin niyo na of course, there were more platforms that were either na-invento, lumabas, or sumikat. I mean, the platforms were already existing in the past, pero mas sumikat during COVID. No? Like for example, TikTok. Alam naman natin, lumakas sobra ang TikTok during the pandemic.
Totoo yan.
Of course, video on demand, tumaas din, no? So, you have your YouTube, your Facebook Watch, and syempre Netflix, no? Usap-usapan talagang Nung pandemic, padamihan ng napanood na palabas sa
Totoo.
Netflix, di ba? Or iFlix or all your other video on demand platforms. So yun, no? Because a lot of people had more time in their hands kasi maraming nag-work from home or marami actually talagang unfortunately nawala ng trabaho and had to stay home, no? So of course, naturally, people will look for platforms to keep them entertained, di ba? So that's why, yun, dumami yung video on demand, mga streaming services, like for example, Kumu
Yes.
also, di ba?
Totoo yan.
Lumakas din ang Kumu. So, ano-ano yung mga lumakas during the pandemic, no? TikTok, Kumu, Netflix, even Viber communities, di ba? Parang nung pandemic, kalagitnaan ng pandemic, there were really a lot of communities na nabuo. No? Also Facebook and Instagram. So, lahat ito forms of entertainment. No? Even we can talk slightly about the ABS-CBN shutdown, di ba? Kahit nag-shutdown ng ABS-CBN, they transformed to they sort of put their resources into their online platforms. No? So, maganda pa rin. I mean, ang ganda rin ng traction ng kanilang mga online platforms simply because there was really a high demand for entertaining people. No? And yan naman talaga, when you say content creation, usually ang number one talaga na objective naman yan is to entertain people. Diba?
Yes.
So, yun yung isa. So, there were more platforms. But also, ang isa pang nangyari when we say recap of social media or 2020 social media, ang isa mapapansin din natin, of course, is dumami rin ang content creator. Siguro more than double, triple, or even 4 times or 5 times more than before the pandemic. Kasi nga, wala masyadong magawa. You get bored at home, you want to be creative, you want to do something, you know, to pass time. So, nangyari,
Naiba na sa routine.
Yes, so dumami ang content creators talaga. Yun yung isa kong example that I was telling you, Kida. During May, I was looking for some equipment for vlogging for myself kasi I was supposed to do a lot of webinars for my talks and seminars. Grabe, as in talagang out of stock. Mga microphone, yung mga camera, gano'n. Sabi ko sa talaga,
light.
Grabe. Mga ring light, yes. Sabi ko, okay. So talagang a lot of people are now getting into content creation. So yun yung nakita kong yun yung nakita kong when you say recap of 2020, two things, no? Rise of new platforms and then the increase of more content creators.
Yes. Talagang naman nakita din natin yan lahat, BlogaFam, di ba? Halos lahat nga tayo. Kasi syempre marami na tayong time eh. Tapos syempre naboboard din naman tayo, tao lang din tayo na kapag paulit-ulit yung ginagawa natin sa bahay, we tend to look for something new na magiging bago sa sistema natin. And a lot of people really tried at ayun na nga sabi nga ni Sir Jojo, naubusan na siya ng stock sa mga ring light, sa mga ganyan. Imagine, nagkaubusan na ng stock sa ganun for a time. So, ibig sabihin, ganun talaga kalaki ang demand. And of course, Sir Jojo, kahit ang dami nga naging changes sa ating content creators, baka pwede rin natin pag-usapan ano naman yung naging changes from the end of our brands nung 2020. Kung may mga naging bago ba sa kanilang marketing strategy or how they communicate with you kapag lumalapit sila sa inyo, sa mga agencies, ganun po.
Yeah. Siguro lagyan muna natin ng konting background and foreground, no? For the people who may, I'm sure for your listeners, and I'm sure this is recorded and people will hopefully get to watch this after. Just to give background of what I do. I'm a talent manager. No? So I'm a celebrity manager. I manage a lot of celebrities. But at the same time, I'm also an owner of a digital marketing agency. No? So we see both sides. No? We see the side of the content creator and also nakikita rin namin yung side ng brands and advertising. So yun nga, yung just to give you a preview or a foreground of what happened. ang trend kasi in the past year was, yun nga, there was a rise of video on demand and streaming platforms, di ba? Also information platforms. Also e-commerce lumaki ng gusto, no? And businesses had to pivot to becoming virtually ready, no?
Mhm.
Kasi virtual ready, no? A lot of the brands out there had to really transform their business from
Yes.
uh, a brick and mortar. Syempre wala nang dumadalaw sa mga ano, 'di ba, sa mga stores, restaurants, etc.
Yes.
A lot of offices actually nag-close, no? If you look at
Yes.
go to BGC for example, ang mahal-mahal ng rent ng mga office spaces diyan. Ngayon mura na kasi ang daming umalis, no?
Oh.
So makikita mo talaga business was really badly affected by the pandemic, most especially restaurants. Yung mga consumer goods, mga grocery items, hindi masyado eh. Kasi, you know,
Yes.
the
Necessity kasi
stores
siya eh.
correct. And also, stores found a way to sort of progress their delivery
Mhm.
system, di ba? So, nandiyan si Grab, nandiyan si Lalamove, si JP Express, everyone else, di ba? So, even the small businesses had to pivot and talagang kailangan nilang mag-invest on a delivery system or a booking system online, whether it's through Facebook Messenger or Instagram or Viber, etc. Kailangan nilang aralin biglang social media. So, magulat ka kasi marami kami kausap before na we've been trying to convince na, you know, that digital is the way to go, it's really the future, ganyan, social
Yes.
media management, everything should be the future, ganyan. Before, hindi sila naniniwala, okay pa, hindi pa kami ready dyan, you know, old school selling, old school marketing will still work, blah, blah. Now, in a span of ilang weeks, they had to learn. They had to learn it. Di ba?
They had
Kasi
to
wala eh.
adjust.
Otherwise, magsasara sila. So now, I think the adjustment really for brands now is that they really had to learn fast.
Mhm.
They had to learn how to navigate through social media, how to navigate through the internet, how to navigate through payment systems, payment gateways. They had to navigate their way through understanding influencer marketing. Kasi dati may mga budget sila for PVCs and billboards and print
Totoo.
materials and collaterals. Pero ngayon, wala na lumalabas eh. Ay, nung pandemic, wala na masyadong traffic. So, not a lot of people are on their cars. So, not a lot of people will see your advertising if you're on
Billboards.
billboards.
Mhm.
So, nawala yon, no? Nawala yon. So, what brands, well, the brands that had money had to reallocate their budgets from doing PVCs and print and all that to really
Digital.
trying to find a way to make them successful on the digital platform. No? So yeah, actually sa totoo lang kami, yun nga sabi ko sa inyo, I see the content creator side, the influencer side because I manage artistas and influencers. And then on the other side, I also manage an agency so nakikita namin yung mga demands from the brands and the agency side. Actually, dumami ang inquiries namin for influencer
Influencers.
marketing. Dumami talaga, no? Even I've been talking to some talent managers as well that are my friends. When you ask them, ano pinagkakakitaan ninyo ngayon? Influencer marketing din. No? So, influencer marketing has grown during the pandemic,
Mhm.
fortunately. And it will continue to grow, no?
Yes.
In the coming years. Kasi kung isang buong taon na to na sinanay natin yung mga brands sa digital and sa influencer marketing, mas gamay na nila. So ibig sabihin,
Yes.
moving forward, it's now going to be a permanent staple in terms of, a choice a choice to put their money on. No? So yun, yun ang nakikita kong changes in the brand side and advertising side. Yep.
Ayan, sakto, Sir Jojo. May tanong tayo from Miss Ace. ano daw po ang napansin yung behavior ng mga trad media celebrities because of the rise of social media and paano nag-adjust ang mga TV celebrities sa social media? Saktong-sakto ang pagdating ng question.
Right. Thank you, guys. Actually, ever since naman, I've been managing celebrities 8 years, magte 10 years na, no? But when I started 10 years ago, talagang ang focus ko na, I think that's the, no, when you say unique selling proposition ng talent agency ko, talagang I focused on making my talents very strong on social media and naintindihan nila dapat yung social media. So medyo yung mga celebrities ko medyo alam nila no, yung galawan. I mean, alam nila what to do on social media. We you know, we guide them there. We guide them there. Pero napansin ko sa ibang trad na hindi ko hawak or even yung mga hawak ko, no. Syempre, they had to transition talaga to doing content creation on their own. Yun yung pinakamalaking change na nakita ko. Kasi alam niyo yung mga trad celebrities, of course, they're used to being on cam, pero they're used to having a director, a producer, a writer, etc.
An
So they have a whole
editor.
team, they have a whole team behind them in terms of doing content. No? So, at saka usually mga content ng mga yan, usually either a talk show or teleserye or a movie, ganyan. So talagang I mean, sanay sila on cam, pero hindi pa sila ganun kasanay to create content on their own. But I'm not saying all kasi marami ring mga trad media, sanay sa trad media ng celebrities na ang galing, ang bilis nila nag-transition into creating their own content. Like for example, Alex Gonzaga and the madami pang iba na talagang magaling gumawa ng content. No? So yun yung nakita kong transition. Now, like, even my talents are learning to create content on their own na hindi naman siya, hindi naman siya pain or anything. Pero nagagawa naman nila. No? Like, for example, may talents like Camille Prats, Denise Laurel, Mary, Miranda, so lahat, Isabel Oli, Polilula, lahat sila gumagawa ng sarili lang content. So sa simula, sila, no? They were medyo, syempre, there was an adjustment stage. So, pero now yun, I think that's where everyone had to make adjustment. Yung pag-create ng content on their own, trying to produce, edit, put your content out there. So yan yung nakikita kong adjustment talaga. As opposed to yung mga from the start pa lang, sila na nag-produce yung mga vloggers, ganyan. So syempre wala sila masyadong changes kasi sanay na sila. So yun yung nakita kong major change.
Yes, and talagang nakita din natin ngayong nagsimula ang pandemic, ang dami ring mga artista syempre nasa bahay lang sila. So they tend to, nung una sineshare nila, ano yung mga namimiss nila sa work, hanggang sa nakikita natin tumatagal, na-enjoy na rin nila mag-vlog, hanggang sa gusto na rin nila mag-produce ng mga contents and challenges na traditionally sa mga vloggers lang natin nakikita. So very, very interesting. And kanina nga, sabi nga ni Sir Jojo, it will continue to grow ang ating digital platform, ang pag-market sa social media. So since napag-usapan na natin, Sir Jojo, ang 2020, this 2021 kaya, since magpapatuloy nga ang pag-grow ng ating content creators this year, ano kaya ang magiging bago this year for content creators? Like, what kind of content yung magiging prominent sa ating content creators this 2021? Sa tingin nyo po?
Okay. So, okay. I've been saying this to a lot of content creators. Importante naman talaga strategize. Strategize your content. Kasi it's important talaga. Kasi ang pinaka-challenge ng kahit sinong content creator is to plan ano ba yung content na magiging okay for you. Meaning content that will people will watch, that people will subscribe to. Uh, Ako, I always say it's important to find your niche. No? Alamin mo muna, ano yung niche mo?
Yes.
Kasi sa sobrang dami ng content creators ngayon, sobrang dami, just look for your own corner. Mahirap din kasi yung to try be to be someone who's like everyone. No? Kasi
Yes.
syempre, you have to be unique in your own right. So para sundan ng tao yung content mo, no? So what we need to do in 2021 is really take a step back and look at what type of content do you want to produce? Do you want to produce inspiring content, for example, or do you want to produce music? Or do you want to produce comedy para naman, alam mo yun, kailangan ng bayan natin ngayon yan, di ba? That, you know, we make
Totoo.
people laugh. Or do you want content that's, like ako, for example, karamihan ng mga celebrities ko are moms. So, mommy tips ba? Or about motherhood ba? Or about being a husband or being a wife ba? So, I think yun muna eh. First, we need, as content creators, first, decide on a niche and then
Yes.
strategize kung ano yung content that you want to put out there. Kasi nga, again, you have to now be more aware na mas madami ng content creators ngayon. It's very difficult. It's more difficult now to rise above the clutter.
Totoo.
Diba? And also, ang isa pa dyan na hindi natin dapat maipagkaila, no? Kasi ito yung part, this is my part. I'm not a content creator. I always plan to create my own content, which is talking and speaking, engagement, etc. Pero I never get to do them kasi sa dami na ginagawa ko. No? Pero kung gagawa man ng content, it's more this. Either I'm gonna podcast or maybe I'm gonna do a webinar, etc. So I'm not really a content creator. So I don't produce, I don't edit, or I have a team who does that. They can do that for me. Pero ang trabaho ko talaga, I'm a business manager. So what I do is I make sure that all my talents or all my celebrities or influencers are supposedly dapat monetizing. No? So isa pa yun. Isa pa kailangan din pag-usapan yun. Once you find your niche, once you find your strategy mo, alam mo na kung ano yung material na gusto mong ilabas out there that people will most probably follow and subscribe to. Second, gusto mo bang pagkakitaan ito o hindi? Kasi meron namang ibang hindi. Meron namang mga iba dyan na talagang walang nilang, they just wanna have fun creating content and they're having fun, people following them and subscribing to them. So okay, you know. But if you so decide that you want to make money out of it and this can be a bona fide career, there are certain things that you also need to consider. No? So, pero una yun, tanggapin mo muna na talagang gusto mong gumawa ng pera out of content creation. And hindi masama yun. That's not a bad thing. No? Some people kasi are thinking, influencers, hindi nagpo-post yan, hindi sila binabayaran. Siya ang trabaho to eh. This is work. This is work. So, you just have to understand, yun yan. It's a career in itself. No?
Yes.
So, isa pang outlook, so sabi ko, no, marami ng content creators ngayon, marami na ring platforms ngayon. So what you need to do now is to come up with a way to rise above the clutter. So yun. Second, decide whether you want to make money or not. Number 3, when you decide that you want to make a career out of this, nakikita ko na hindi porke talent manager ako ha, and I don't have to manage you or anything. Pero, ang nakikita ko dito, there is now a need na dati hindi masyado eh. Kasi content creators can survive. Pero now there's a need to be professionally represented.
Yes.
No? And learn the proper way of dealing. And learn the proper way of dealing with the business side. Kasi syempre, iba pa rin yung someone is representing you, someone is negotiating for you, and someone is taking care of guiding you, no? Especially yung at least medyo nakakatandang mga katulad ko. people who already have the experience in the industry
Yes.
to guide. So yun yung nakikita kong mga importanteng kailangan gawin.
Yes. Alam niyo, Sir Jojo, habang nakikinig ako, feeling ko, kung ito man yung first na ipoproduce nyo na content, eto na yun, nakalibre na ako kasi ang dami ko natututunan just by listening to you. Parang feeling ko, eto na yung podcast mo, tapos live akong nakikinig. And ang dami ko talagang natututunan. At kanina nga, ito, BlogaFam, since napag-usapan natin, di ba, sabi ko sa inyo, na isa sa mga New Year's resolution ko, wag na mahiya, di ba? Basta may opportunity, i-grab. Kanina, chinichika ko tong si Sir Jojo backstage. Sabi ko, Sir Jojo, baka gusto mong pwede po ako mag-audition. So, ayun na nga, di ba? Talagang grab natin ang opportunities. Oh,
Yes.
di ba? Mm-mm.
Agree.
Agree doon si Sir Jojo. Pero eto na nga, Sir Jojo, since napag-agreean na natin na this is the future, lalo ngayong taon na ito ay papalaki lang to ng papalaki. Ang tanong ko naman po, kung sakali na matapos na ulit, maging normal na ulit, I'm sure there are things na ma-retain and may mga things din na i-change ulit. So ano po kaya yung mga magsistay the same and ano rin po kaya yung mga magbabago ulit na pwedeng paghandaan ng ating content creators ngayong pandemic and kapag natapos na po siya?
Okay, very good question. For sure, video on demand platform will stay.
Mm-hmm.
No? Kahit anong gawin natin, ano pa rin tayo lahat visual. No,
Yes.
we still wanna see things. So like for example, Instagram, tagal-tagal na lang Instagram, pero syempre very successful pa rin. Even
yes.
most of the branded content now are on Instagram, diba?
Yes, totoo.
So platform aesthetics and visuals will stay for sure. Isa pa na prominent na magsistick will be live streaming. Okay?
Ay, totoo yan.
Kasi nasanay na tayo na ako sa totoo lang, I'm an old fart. No? So I'm old school. Hindi ako masyadong sanay sa work from home or in fact dito sa opisina yung work from home. Because I still wanna have interactions with people every day na socially distant man, pero I still wanna see them. Gano'n. Pero hindi ko rin naman pagkakaila na, this pandemic has prepared us for really accepting something like this, no? Itong Bloga Live, di ba? Dati hindi naman uso to. Dati if you wanna hear someone talk, pupunta ka doon sa isa, mag-rent ka ng venue sa hotel, magbenta ka ng tickets, you'll ask people to attend, to listen to this guy, and then, ganun siya, no? But now, mas tanggap na natin eh. We have all the live streaming platforms. We have this one, StreamYard, we have Zoom, we have and even as a marketing tool, ang dami na gumagamit ng live stream. No? We can see Lazada and Shopee doing that. Even on a per brand basis, nagpapa-FB live sila sa mga influencers, nagpapa-IG live or YouTube. So, yun, no? Live streaming will stay. Vlogging will of course stick. Pero ako lang ito sa akin lang, hindi naman to napapansin ko lang kasi before when you say vlogging, the first few successful vloggers talagang super organic talaga yung kanilang content. I've always said I've always subscribed to that belief na kailangan organic yung content. Pero ngayon may tinatawag akong semi-organic or hybrid. Meaning, organic pa rin siya kasi it's your true self, your authentic and genuine self na pinapakita mo sa vlog mo. Pero yung pag-produce and pag-edit, medyo polished. Polished na. Alam mo bakit? Kasi tayo sa bahay because of the pandemic. So, nasanay silang manood ng Netflix or manood ng content that's a little bit more may storya o may medyo polished yung pagkaka-edit. So I realized, parang napapansin ko na yun, okay, people are latching on to content that's a little more polished, pero hindi naman tipong Netflix level or movie
Yes.
grade.
Mm-hmm.
Pero short, very short video formats. Pero medyo konting may pagka-polished. Ito yung napansin ko.
Yes.
Next is um, magiging those another platform that will continue to be successful will be gifting apps. No, yung mga nagre-regalo, mga gifting apps
Yes.
like
Mm-mm.
Kumu, Laika, I think TikTok's
Laika.
gonna go that way. So, I think Facebook, I'm not sure, pero pagkakarinig ko, yung
Meron,
mga
Sir Jojo. May pa-stars ang Facebook.
yes. So, yung gifting mode or a gifting model, that will continue to rise in 2021. So, ibig sabihin yan, a lot of our content creators should be able to adapt to live
Adapt.
streaming. Kasi most of the gifting, di ba, dapat naka-live ka dyan eh, di ba? Para nire-regaluhan ka. So, yun,
Yes.
no, yung gifting apps will continue to be done that way. Communities will continue to flourish, no, mga FB communities,
Viber communities.
tuloy-tuloy yan, no? Fiber communities, and also podcasts. I just had a
Yes.
meeting yesterday with Spotify, uh, with Phil, no? He's the podcast manager. And I've seen some data na talagang some people some people still prefer to just listen. I mean, sit down,
And
relax,
this.
wala ng ibang stimulus, just really listen. No? Listen to
Mm-mm.
either an inspirational podcast or a DIY podcast or a funny podcast. Ayan. So, the rise of podcasting, well, matagal naman ang nag-rise ang podcasting, but I think podcasting will stick, no, for 2021. So yun yung mga nakikita kong platforms that will stick in 2021.
Yes. And then sa streaming, super agree ako, Sir Jojo. Kasi po, ako din po ay naging part ng Kumu very recently. And syempre, tinitignan ko din kung paano ba yung community ng mga tao doon. And I think one of the reasons na talaga nag-flourish siya ay, BlogaFam hindi ako nagpo-promote pero kasi nakikita ko talaga na alam mo yung very personal na kahit hindi kayo nagkikita ng mga taong nandun, the moment kasi na nagtanong sila and then nasagot mo yung questions nila, ganyan, real time, kumbaga, very personal yung connection. Kaya mas maraming taong nagda-download, gustong nanonood, gustong nagsa-stream na din, collab here, collab there, akyatan kayo, may mga ganong terms sa Kumu. So yes, very, very interesting. Pero eto naman, Sir Jojo, since eto na nga ang mga changes na posibleng mangyari at ito din yung mga magsistay, ang tanong ko po ay, how can our content creators prepare for or take advantage of whatever is gonna happen sa mga platforms natin this year?
Okay. Um, Very good, no? Number one, I think what we need to prepare for, we need to prepare for creating content that can have global reach. Kung
Global
mapapansin
reach.
niyo ngayon, tayong mga Filipino, kasi like for example for K-pop, diba?
Mm-hmm.
Yung content nila, parang global na yung reach ngayon,
Yeah.
diba? Um, Everywhere around the world, merong mga K-pop fans. Now, I think 2021 is the year for Filipinos. So, um, I think ako talaga naniniwala ako na we have a big space to fill in the global market. Kasi we're all very talented. We've always been a group of people who have been very talented kahit saan, singing, dancing. Kita nyo, kahit yung mga talent shows globally, parating nagpi-place kung hindi man manalo, Pinoy.
Yes.
So I think one of the things that I want to really talk to content creators about is that it's about time that, we create we create content that is for global reach, not talaga, and for the global audience, no? So when you say that, meaning each content creator has to be better at producing and editing content. So when it comes to, when I say being better, look at quality talaga. That's, ano ba yung quality na pang-global? No? Ayun, again, I'll ask the question to the content creators. How do you now make yourself rise above the clutter and the
Yes.
other creators out there? No? Bukod sa, dito sa Pilipinas, sinasabi ko nga, dumami yung content creators because of the pandemic. Ibig sabihin, everywhere else around the world, ganun din ang nangyari, dumami din ang content creators. So ngayon, yung labanan, hindi na lang sa paano ako mapapansin sa Pilipinas. It has to be,
Yes.
paano ako mapapansin sa mundo. Diba? Kasi when you look at
Yes.
the vlogs of the more famous vloggers like Will, Ranzeliana, and even ako, I have a YouTube star, si Ayana Juarez, who does a lot of covers on YouTube. Most of her subscribers are from another country. Some are from Dubai, some are from Thailand, some are from Korea because she does a lot of covers, Korean covers. So talagang ngayon, we need to prepare kasi kayang-kaya natin. We create content that's for global audience. Okay. So yan ang aking those are I think what we need to prepare for.
Yes, kailangan nating maghanda na maging mas pang-global kumbaga. And syempre makakatulong din naman sa atin 'yun sa lahat, hindi lang sa content creators. If we think big, tayo din naman ang makikinabang doon. If we strive to be bigger, if we strive to go farther sa mga gusto nating puntahan, syempre para din sa atin 'yon. And thank you so much Sir Jojo. Grabe, feeling ko talaga nag-take na
Yung
ako
mga
ng
last
seminar mo.
Yung mga last few words lang ako ha.
Okay, go Sir Jojo. Hindi kita pipigilan dyan.
Since there are more creators and more platforms, kasi I'm sure the platforms mag-i-increase pa rin yan.
Yes.
Syempre, ang daming app developers na gusto mag-develop ng apps, etc. So, ano na yan, definitely, planuhin nyo na or i-anticipate nyo na that there will be more platforms in the future. And existing platforms will improve to becoming better and better as platforms for content creators. So just to recap what I said, what I've been saying the whole time tonight. Number one, find your niche muna. As content creators, hanapin nyo muna ano yung gusto nyong gawin. Ano yung gusto nyong share sa mga tao. Ano yung tingin ninyong i-share ninyo tungkol sa sarili nyo na talagang makaka-inspire sa mga ibang tao. So find your niche. Next is be more professional and handle the business side. There's a business side to it, and whether if you so decide to make this a career, might as well either learn the professional side or be professionally managed by someone who can represent you. Next is there's a lot of strategy behind content creation and dealing with brands and putting your content out there and having people, share your content. There's a lot of thinking, planning, and strategy behind that. So it would be nice if if you have a team behind you who can help you with that, or maybe friends who are creative and can help you with that. So hindi masama humingi ng tulong. If you really want to be a successful content creator, collaboration is always important. So you have to find people who will collaborate with you, pero at the same time, konting warning din lang because not a lot of people, not everyone will want to help you, pero hanapin nyo kung sino yung mga genuinely gugustuhin tulungan kayo. Next, be consistent with your content. Hindi pwede yung I'll put out content today tapos 2 months after na yung sunod. Okay? It has to be consistent. Kasi people will have to develop the habit of watching you. So be consistent with your content and also be consistent with the type of content that you have. maraming platforms out there, pero you don't need to be in all platforms. Kasi some people might think, kailangan nasa lahat ng platforms ako. Eh, kung hindi ka naman komportable mag-TikTok, or you just want to do a podcast or something like that, you can't force yourself to be who you are not. Okay? So, hindi nyo kailangan nasa lahat ng platforms. Pero kung kaya nyo na nasa lahat kayo ng platforms, well and good. No? So which leads me to the most basic and most necessary, which is, yun, you really have to be who you are. You have to be authentic. Hindi pwede yung content mo is you're acting it out. Or, I mean, hindi ikaw yun. Alam mo yun, yung iba, papakomedyante ka pero deep inside depressed ka pala. Sometimes may ganun. Pero I think the general rule is create content that is authentic and genuine. So, yun hopefully, tonight ay na-share akong may naitulong ako sa Bloga community and Blogapalooza, and thank you everyone. And, thank you for inviting me. Sana hindi to ang huli. Sana ma-invite niyo ako ulit.
Yes! Thank you so much, Sir Jojo. Ang dami ko talagang natutunan at ang pinaka natutunan ko nga while listening talaga is ang pagiging genuine. Hindi lang sa sarili mo na, syempre, kapag may mga nanonood sa'yo, dapat yung genuine self mo yung pinapakita mo. Kasi kung hindi, ikaw din ang mahihirapan. And of course, yung pakikipag-collaborate nga, doon ako pinaka nag-agree na you also have to be very careful kung sino ang mga lalapitan mo kasi hindi rin naman lahat ay gusto kang tulungan. And not all people will be your people. You will not be everyone's cup of tea and you should accept it and that should be okay basta genuine ka sa sarili mo. I love it! I love tonight's talk, Sir Jojo. I super do. And where can we follow you po? Kung may mga katanungan pa po kami or may mga gusto pa po kaming malaman tungkol po sa inyo or meron kayong mga pa-announcement sa inyong buhay, saan po namin kayo pwedeng i-follow, Sir Jojo?
Well, the most simple para wag nang haba and follow me na lang on Instagram. My Instagram is at joamps3. So JOAMPS and then the number 3, joamps3.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Jojo. At salamat din po na napaunlakan nyo ang aming imbitasyon. And sana nga po talaga ay hindi pa ito huli at magkasama pa po tayo at magkita-kita sa mga iba pa po nating ganap in life. And BlogaFam, if you wish to follow me, you can also follow me on my social media accounts. That's at Erica Lucas on everything. At sana po, masarap ang ulam nyo ngayong Friday night. Magkita-kita po ulit tayo next week sa panibagong Bloga Live episode. Maniwala tayo sa Law of Attraction. Mata sa langit, paa sa lupa. Paalam. Bye, BlogaFam! Happy Friday!
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Jojo!
Thank you, Erica.